After an absolutely massive 2018 with the generation's biggest games, Microsoft and Sony are looking forward to 2019 with even more huge games. It's looking like 2019 may be the year that Xbox One hits the hardest, while PlayStation prepares for next generation. It's no secret that Sony is bowed out of E3 2019 to control the narrative of a great line of first-party games slowing down to the end of the PS4 era. Most of what has made the PS4 so amazing has been shown since 2016, and their last couple of big games may not be ready until the year of the PS5. 2019 is looking hotter than ever for the Xbox consoles, and unless Sony has some surprise quick turnarounds outside of a shuttered E3, the PS4 may have to rely on third-party multiplats to keep their customers entertained. We're going to look at the bigger, more mainstream games because both Xbox One and PS4 each have around 10 exclusives in 2019, with most of them being smaller titles outside of the big blockbusters. Xbox is not waiting for anyone, even being as bold to drop their first game alongside the biggest third-party games, Metro Exodus and Far Cry New Dawn. After a long 5-year wait of promises and delays, Crackdown 3 is finally coming to Xbox and Game Pass on February 15th. Crackdown is a cult hit flagship series for Xbox, but the sequel in 2010 gathered mediocre reviews. Xbox's Phil Spencer, being a fan of Crackdown, gave the team an additional year to completely overhaul the campaign and rebuild the online, competitive Wrecking Zone, destructible multiplayer after the cloud-based team was sold to Epic. Many were not impressed with the look of Crackdown in early 2017, and care and attention was given to the game by Sumo Digital to make the agents move faster and more powerfully in a huge city of Providence, which is boasted to be twice the size of the massive Pacific City from Crackdown 1 and 2. You'll have 20 agents to choose from, all that have different perks and skill boosts, and they can be swapped out at any time during the campaign. Your agent will physically and visually level up to a towering superhero, and your agency vehicles will transform into wrecking machines, even able to climb elevated roadways or become a tank when you're tired of being outnumbered. The 2017 build of Crackdown was in its true form, cel-shaded, but muted and dull compared to the final build with high contrast, explosive colors, and an overall comic come-alive presentation. All of this can be played alone or two-player co-op. The Wrecking Zone has been formed to a 5v5 competitive city blocks wide arena, with fast-moving agents using the buildings around them to escape gun and rocket fire. It's a take on Kill Confirmed, with full destructible buildings playing as an ally or your enemy. This is made possible by the latest cloud tech computing to keep the moment-to-moment action fluid, while the servers handle the physics-based destruction. It won't be the top-rated game of 2019, but with its track record and improvements, I'm predicting an 80 Metacritic score for Crackdown 3. Sony just doesn't have a cooperative or multiplayer-based game to compete with Crackdown 3 in its catalog, even dismissing the opportunity to add multiplayer modes to their first big offering in 2019, Days Gone. Days Gone is a big, single-player, open-world zombie survival story with all of the right ingredients to make a blockbuster hit. Zombies, third-person shooting, stealth, traps, and open-world traversal on motorcycles. Sony's Bend Studios' last big game was Siphon Filter over a decade ago, but they have experience in porting the Uncharted series. Days Gone, like Crackdown, has seen a couple of delays, but the release date is set for April 26th. We haven't seen this many zombies on screen since Dead Rising. But so far, Days Gone looks a little rough around the edges. Not much has been seen of it in the past several months, even skipping the last E3. Early impressions by Game Informer and other outlets have been mixed, from mediocre to genuinely excited. Bend Studio may be delivering just another third-person action-adventure game, but with so many fans of a great genre and Sony's attention to detail and quality control, Days Gone is a great way to start 2019 on the PS4, even if it's a bit late. Many are hoping that Ghost of Tsushima by Sucker Punch is ready for 2019. First announced in 2016 with the first showing of gameplay in 2018. A third-person Assassin's Creed meets Tenchu stealth and melee gameplay seems to be a good fit for Sucker Punch. The game looks brutally violent with heavy overtones tied to a family driven from their home and loved ones by the Mongol army in feudal Japan. Ghost of Tsushima is most likely not ready for 2019 with no release year tied to it and instead a to be confirmed. But with an announcement in 2017, a 3-year development cycle is typical for the team at Sucker Punch. Unless Sony plans a public event before everyone else goes to E3, don't bank on Ghost of Tsushima releasing in 2019. But don't worry, From Software, the team behind Bloodborne, will have Sekiro Shadows Die Twice ready for both consoles on March 22nd, 2019. The award-winning Ori is venturing outside of the Blind Forest with Will of the Wisps, one of the best exclusive platformers on the Xbox. Ori burned into the memories of critics and gamers alike in 2015 with its heartfelt tone and gorgeous, glowing visuals. Ori's take on the Metroidvania has proven successful for the series and many games that followed. Moon Studios promises a new adventure, more ways to tackle enemies, and a shocking new reveal for fans of the series. Sony's answer to Ori is Media Molecule's long-awaited creation game, Dreams. Based off the concept that made Little Big Planet successful, you will be in control of creating a world to interact with on the PS4. The worlds you create are shared with others, so there is no limit to what Dreams can provide. But the game has no release date or release year, set to be confirmed. We'll see if it lines up with Ori's late 2019 release. Rare Studios, the team behind several classic hit games of the 90s, is bringing back Battletoads for 2019. But Rare is working with another studio to develop a 2D-style parallaxing hand-drawn art style, rebooting the original Battletoads game with 3-player couch co-op and probably online co-op as well. Battletoads is a brutally difficult and challenging beat-em-up game with side-scrolling platforming, puzzles, and challenging gameplay perspectives. The game may be AA, but the name alone brings Battletoads to the forefront of hype on Xbox in 2019. The Last of Us 2 is potentially the game of the year whenever it releases. It takes Naughty Dog's magic and centers the action around an emotional ride that hits every note. Ellie has grown up and raised in an unforgiving environment that has made her cautious, calloused, and angry. Naughty Dog stated that in early 2017, they were halfway done with The Last of Us 2. They are in no rush to release the game until it is absolutely perfect. No release date or release year on The Last of Us Part 2. But the real star of 2019 on PlayStation is Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding. Kojima's games are a cinematic masterpiece full of supernatural deep-thinking tropes, and Death Stranding is his opportunity to really stretch his legs. In so much that there are a handful of trailers shown up to this point that only have proven to confuse the audience into salivating curiosity. Before you get caught up in the idea that Kojima will take forever to finish this game, all signs, symbols, and even hints from Kojima and star Norman Reedus point strongly to 2019. In fact, at this point, it's a matter of whether Death Stranding is coming in the summer of 2019 or the end of the year. The game will deal with fourth-dimensional supernatural creatures, horror, and time travel. Regardless of how strange you think Death Stranding is, it will be a massive success this year. PS4 will have another incredible year with the rest of the catalog perfectly padded out until next generation. But Xbox will close 2019 with Gears 5. The Coalition is taking Gears in a new direction while retaining the Phoenix family into a new generation. Rod Ferguson of Coalition said that under a short development time for Gears of War 4, during the beginning of the Xbox One generation, the team had to play it safe and prove that the team could make a Gears of War game. And with Gears 5, they wanted to make it their own, taking more liberties with creativity and gameplay while keeping it true to the fans. This time, the stakes are higher, and Gears 5 is going to be bigger, bolder, and more menacing. In a more open-style world, in Gears 5, you'll be able to travel to different areas throughout the campaign and back, giving Gears more freedom and feeling more alive. With Kate at the helm, the Locust will have a Lord of the Rings or Dark Force influence. She struggles with her conflict with JD, Dell, and her fellow cogs into Locust's hands to find out what happened to her mother. Gears 4 has some absolutely stunning vistas along the way, and Gears 5 is taking that to new heights in the snow, deep caves, and war-torn cities. Gears is looking more colorful and more varied, and we still haven't heard about what multiplayer and co-op modes will be keeping us playing into the next year. It's clear that Xbox has finally arrived with some healthy competition in the console space, and with 7 new studios working on multiple projects at E3 2019 in just 6 months, we'll hear about how Xbox plans to close out the generation and kick off the next one with Halo Infinite and many more. Other than a slow first 2 years, the PS4 has had a phenomenal pacing of 2 to 3 incredible first-party titles each year, with The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima coming in 2020. The transition into next generation will be an entertaining one for everybody. This is Colt Eastwood. Thank you so much for watching. It's going to be an incredible year for gaming. I'm the most excited for Crackdown 3 than most anything else. We haven't had a game like it in many years or even on this generation of consoles. I only cover the exclusives here, but as far as multiplats, I'm ready for Rage 2, Far Cry New Dawn, Anthem. There are so many more. It's funny just looking at the exclusives like they're the be-all end-all, but we spend over 80% of our time gaming multi-platform games that are available on the PS4 and the Xbox One. I did a video like this last year when we all thought Days Gone and Crackdown were releasing in 2018. News changes by the minute after a video goes up or even several months, and I hope to be pleasantly surprised this summer with new releases. If you're new to the channel, leave a like and subscribe for weekly news and information. And because in this video I've pitted the PS4 games versus the Xbox games, the comment section here is going to be fierce, with both sides taking the competition pretty seriously. So if you venture in, let me know what game you're looking forward to most. And it's a new year, so try if you can to please be nice.